Hello, this is Venom of the Dragon Demon's Venom, giving you my thoughts on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Eyes of Heaven. Now, in my thoughts, I'm going to do like a kind of light review. Give my personal opinion on this game, if I recommend it, what I like, what I don't like, and so on and so forth. So for those of you who do watch this, I'd like you to leave a comment. Tell me how I'm doing, how I can improve, and what I did good at. Any any criticism can help. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure: Eyes of Heaven is a 3D 2 versus 2 arena brawler. Very different from the last JoJo game that was released, which was All Star Battle. A very standard fighting game, which I personally liked. This game in and of itself, I think, is fun, but I personally wouldn't recommend it unless you are at least a pretty decent JoJo fan. Like, if you're really into JoJo, I wouldn't recommend it otherwise. Now for the positives. As I said before, if you're a fan of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I have to say a pretty big fan, well, not that big, I'm sure you might get some enjoyment out of this. Another positive point that I have to give to this game is that the story mode, it does seem pretty interesting, at least as far as I've gotten into the story mode. I haven't beaten it all the way. I've only been playing it for 2 days now, just to get a feel for it. Another positive that I'd have to give to it would be the amount of characters that it offers, which is 53. Now, with a number that huge, you might think that a lot of the characters play the same, but that's another good thing about the game. Each character plays slightly different from others. There are some that have small differences, there are others that have huge differences. For instance, Mariah, the enemy Stan uses from Part 3. Her combat style revolves around setting traps and dealing extra damage once her trap is set off. While others, like Kira, they have a variety of close range and long range combat. The combat in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Eyes of Heaven, I have to say, isn't that bad, but I can see where others might not like it as much. It can be a bit slow, but it does have some interesting mechanics, like the R1 skill, which is a skill specific to each character. Some can be transformations, others are buffs, and some are just a really powerful attack. Another mechanic in this game that I like is that each stage has a different gimmick. Like for the stage here, its main gimmick is just the spike floor in the middle of it. That can only be traversed by pillarmen, vampires, or Haman users. There are other stages that change their layout after a certain amount of time, or that become more dangerous as the battle progresses. This makes fights a bit more interesting, and depending on what character you use, the stage gimmick can be used to your advantage. Now to talk about some of the negative points to this game, or at least points that I feel are negative. For one, this is an opinion that I've seen from other reviewers, that the game can feel slow and clunky. Especially when combat is interrupted when players activate their dual heat mode. I can't remember exactly what it's called. But yes, that can interrupt combat and it can break the flow of it. Not to mention, other things that kind of make it seem slow are recovery speed. Especially when you've been knocked down a health bar, you stay down for a good few seconds. and you can't instantly recover from that. It's really annoying. Another negative aspect would be for those who like to play online. The online is pretty much dead in this game. It's not surprising. The same thing happened to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle. You could barely find a match in that. And to make matters worse, there is no local multiplayer for this game. If you want to play with your friends, they have to purchase the game for themselves and play it on a separate console. Not many negatives, but some of these can be game breakers. Another thing that I guess I wouldn't exactly call a negative, but would draw people away from it, is the price of the game. This is a download-only title, at least in North America, and it goes for a full $50, $50 to $60. And like I said, if you aren't a fan of JoJo, you most likely won't want to waste that much money on this game. It wasn't that bad for me because I saw other reviews beforehand that helped me make my decision, and once I got used to the game, I feel that I got what I paid for. Now, a few side notes that I have to say about this game is that, a few side notes that I have for this game are, I don't see much replayability in this game. Again, if you aren't a JoJo fan, you won't find much replayability out of this game. The story mode is fun because it has like an RPG unlock system, but in free battle, all the abilities and everything are already unlocked for each character, so there really is no reason to keep playing the story mode if all you're gonna do is the free battle. Another thing that I think might draw people away is the fact that in the story mode, it does give light spoilers to events that have happened in previous parts. Because for most parts, at least from what I've seen, it takes place after the events have already taken place. So character deaths are pretty much given away. Like for instance, in part 4, dialogue between certain characters reveal that they have already died and should not be there anymore. So if you are a fan and want to get caught up on your own, want to read the chapters on your own, or want to follow the anime, the currently running part 4 Diamond is Unbreakable, I don't recommend you play this game because it will reveal some spoilers that may piss you off. But in conclusion, I have to say, the game is enjoyable, it's fun, if you're a JoJo fan. If you're someone just looking for a game to play, I wouldn't recommend you get this unless there's a decent price drop. You can try it if you want, but you may be disappointed. And that's all I have to say. As a JoJo fan myself, I really enjoy the game, and I feel that other JoJo fans would enjoy it as well. I hope you enjoyed this light review, my thoughts on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Eyes of Heaven. I'm going to keep the gameplay going for you guys. Like I said, tell me in the comments how I did, what you think I can improve on, and whatever other criticisms you have for me. This is Dragon of the Dragon. This isn't Dragon. This is Venom of the Dragon Demon's Venom signing out. Have a nice day.
ここからだ。時を俺も覚悟を決めなくても楽しんでおく。穴が攻撃をする。死になると思う。てめえファイヤーを張る。穴が攻撃をする。てめえファイヤーを張る。攻撃をする。俺も覚悟を決めなくて。俺が負ける。俺も覚悟を決めなくて楽しみ。お前のパワーをもらうぞ。自分の肉体を穴の中に埋め込む。穴が攻撃をする。俺も逃がさん。ファイヤーを張る。穴が攻撃をする。生贄はどっちになると思う？俺に協力しろ。ああ。お楽しみはここでかけさせて。スタンド使いが一人欲しい。このディオに忠実な部下としてだ。繰り返すぞ。部下だ。